use, natural resources, and energy. As human population grew, demands on natural resources continued to intensify. Land use and environmental policy must keep pace with ever-changing science, economics, technologies, and resource conditions. With attention to climate change implications, increasing complexities also creates new opportunities for multi-benefit and multi-entry solutions. Land use and energy. Many new energy technologies, such as biofuels and solar farms, require enormous amounts of land if deployed at scale. Putting them in competition with other land uses, like growing food, Stanford researchers are studying the impacts of increased production of biomass and biofuels on the environment. Food security and agriculture markets. One area of research focuses on the potential benefits of integrating large solar projects with agriculture. Another theme is developing a financial valuation of the ecological benefits of replacing coal-fired generating stations with solar power plants. Other studies are exploring the risk that carbon sequestration could trigger earthquakes and the land use impacts of nuclear power. Resource use. The high standard of living that we enjoy here depends entirely on the availability of natural resources. Apart from abiotic and biotic raw materials, we use water, soil, air, biodiversity, and land as habitats and for recreational purposes. And for energy, we use wind power, solar power, and tidal flows. These resources also serve as emission sinks, waste dumps, and as indispensable production factors for farming and forestry. But unfortunately and inevitably, resource use across the inter-supply chain generates environmental pollution. Plus, worldwide resource use is growing steadily. Environmental consequences across the entire supply chain. The way we use resources provokes often irreversible ecological change. Extraction and processing of non-regenerative raw materials are often energy-intensive activities involving large-scale interventions in ecosystem and the water balance and result in air, soil, and water pollution. Even the extraction and production of renewable resources often involve extensive use of energy, materials, chemicals, and in some cases, water, and all this translate into pollution. In short, raw material extraction and processing always impact on the environment, resulting as they do in soil degradation, water shortage, biodiversity loss, damage to ecosystem functions, and global warming exacerbation. And that's not all. For the use of products made of raw materials, almost always results in greenhouse gas emissions, pollution, ecosystem damage, and or biodiversity loss. Products need energy and water as well as land for shipping, marketing, and use. Improper product use provokes noxious emissions that can end up in our water, soil, and air. The very infrastructure elements that we take for granted, such as our homes, not to mention countless daily activities, often involve extensive resource use and result land being paved over, damage to ecosystems, and spoiling the beauty of nature. And even at the end stage of the supply chain, environmental harm is unavoidable. For example, recycling requires energy. Using waste for energy generates greenhouse gases and other pollutants, and greenfield land is permanently occupied by waste dumps. Thus, resource use already somewhat exceeds the Earth's regenerative capacities by virtue of the fact that non-renewable natural resources are finite and their quality is often mediocre. The increasing pressure on natural resources resulting from steady worldwide population growth may incite competition from other potential uses. Conserving natural resources so that people in developed nations maintain a good lifestyle and people in developing nations have the ability to improve their lifestyle. Natural resources must be conserved and protected. People are researching ways to find renewable alternatives to non-renewable resources. Recycling can help conserve natural resources like buy less stuff, reduce excess packaging, recycle materials such as metal cans, old cell phones, and plastics. Purchase products made from recycled materials, reduce pollution so that resources are maintained, prevent soil erosion, plant new trees to replace those that are cut down, drive carless, take public transportation, bicycle or walk, and conserve energy at home.